Thanks for tuning in to Clicking with Mackenzie, the Divas, McCall. We've also roped in more folks. Half the ranch at this point. We're back to do another episode of Pandemic Puppies. Today we're going to just talk about good socialization based on whatever your animal is offering up and kind of where they're at. That's an important thing to think about with our puppies who maybe haven't gotten to experience a lot of different things because of the pandemic. And just the important thing about socialization. And then I thought we'd also do a little bit of just basic obedience work if we still have time, and a quick check-in. We're getting a little late start, so without further ado, let's get going. Also, we have a puppy who's so ready to participate. So, somebody's really ready for their chance to do some training. So, hi, I got you. Come on with me. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Gertie's getting in on it.
Watch out, don't get trampled by a donkey. There you go. Good donkey. You didn't trample a puppy, I appreciate it.
What?
I know. Yeah, I got the gate if you want to. There we go. Let's go. Is he trying to steal your limelight? I saw that. Yeah. Where was I, Gertie? I don't even remember.
Puppy pandemic is next. Pandemic puppies.
That was
I would
not quite where I was going for. Socialization. So what is socialization? A lot of people think it just means introduce your puppy to as many people as you can, right? And in some ways that's true, and in some ways it's not. It's how you introduce the puppy, and it's to varying circumstances and experiences. And the best socialization is calm socialization. So if your puppy is afraid, overexcited, if you introduce them to a lot of novel contexts where they're practicing those behaviors are going to generalize. So they'll get more fearful, they'll get more excited or over-aroused. And what we really want to see in good socialization is lots of proximity, experiencing a lot of new things, but doing it in a calm way, like a calm dog does. So, oh, good step on it. Good job. Leave it. Take it. So, calm behavior just means that the animal is capable of listening, demonstrating behaviors that they know outside of that context. They have a relaxed posture. So Maud's got a good example of a relaxed donkey posture. Interested?
How?
Sit. This is a good dog posture. Little too excited. Here you go. But keeping it together, we got 4 feet on the floor. We're even eating apples and carrots. Sit.
Over.
There you go. I'm just stealing the dog. Sit. There we go. So that's good socialization near a donkey, right? Because we're maintaining our relaxed posture, looking at the donkey. This is actually kind of good. I could just work him.
Do you want me to leave him?
If that's okay with everybody else.
Yeah, go for it.
He's accepting carrots as treats, so that's all right. Gertie's kind of accepting him as a treat.
We go get.
So this would be, to me, good early socialization between two animals who don't know each other. And all I'm looking for, and like if you have a pandemic puppy who's never been around a donkey, or a donkey who's never been around an excited puppy before, you can get them to relax this much. He's pretty interested in all the clicks. Hudson,
Sit.
so just ignore him, and I'll take him. He just is like a little bit, he hasn't had enough time in the classroom but that's all I would look for is nice calm behavior. I mean, if I had planned this, we'd be doing it on leash around animals, but he has had a lot of experience around these animals, so he's pretty safe. There you go. And there's one for you. Can you sit? You're being very good with this puppy. Oh, you can rear. It's hard though with the puppy there. You don't know if you trust yourself to rear with the puppy. Okay, fist bump. That's okay. Thank you. Sit. Great. So that's some good socialization. The other thing that would be good for us to practice is just a little bit of basic obedience behavior. So let's go. So Gertie's got pretty good. She's not loving that the puppy's here, but she's got pretty good. Some sit. There you go. Off lead follow. That's in. But careful. Here, you can just eat right there. Come here, Doug. So basic obedience, we're looking for sits, heels, good follows, and leash walking. I was hoping to do a little something with Gertie, but we'll see if it'll work. I'm not quite sure she can handle it with a dog. You think you can handle a dog and a mod?
Sure.
For a second for me? Okay, why don't you call him over?
Hudson.
And just have a treat ready to put on the ground so he doesn't jump on you.
Hudson.
Kind of. We'll go this way so he can get his attention a little more.
It's like I know what my job is.
Not you. Sit. All right, maybe I'll just do the dog. And you can take both donkeys. How's that sound?
Sure. Donkeys.
We worked a little bit on our lead.
Whoa.
So, good loose leash walking. How do you feel about this? Sit.
Donkeys.
You're gonna
Whoa.
on those I'll eat anything sort of guys, huh? Okay, I caught you. Now you're
Yeah. Mud.
we're just looking for
Mud.
a nice little loose loop. Whoa. Good. Ooh. Kind of aware where we are.
Gertie.
And we're just looking for a few steps at first. Keeping that behavior nice and loose. And I'm trying not to let him get to the end of his
Mud.
rope. I'm just looking for a nice loose leash. He's actually calming down a little bit. He's like, oh, where's my mom? What's
What
going on?
else can you do?
So something nice and easy like that. The other behaviors that we can work on is sit. She's got
What else can you do?
pretty good.
Yeah, what
Step
else
away.
can you do?
And this whole time we're also working on. Good, Doug.
What else can you do?
Okay, go. Go get your mom. And go get her. It's like, oh, I think my brain is fried. I got too excited, then I had to do all this behavior. Now I want to go back. We're also getting lots of, especially when we're working with me, lots of interaction around just calmer, 4 feet on the floor sort of behavior.
What else can you do?
Obedience can be great because you're also reinforcing some of the socialization things that I was just talking about. We're just having a game to play, right? Because it's focus. You can be
else can you
getting
do?
exposed to a lot of new stuff. But as we work on it, we're getting a high amount of reinforcement also on focus, calmer behavior, rather than just kind of like,
What else can you do?
if you're thinking socialization is only introductions and not how those introductions are going, when you're actually working on obedience, you're also doing socialization. Do you want to just take the donkeys for a little bit and
Sure. Do
I'll
that
steal
again.
your microphone, we'll go do some dog training?
Sure.
Is that okay with you? Maud, look what I got for you. You can take the rest of my donkey treats. And this way the donkeys don't get sad that the dogs are being trained. And they're not. They've come to expect a solid 30 minutes or more of training. Although we did get a good hike around today. Sorry, you're in there.
Gotten Gertie in the face.
Leave it. You don't need to be grumpy with your sister. You can come with me and then go back. I can't believe a dog just like, clean up. Missed it. Nothing in there. You gonna pick it up and bring it? No? You don't want me to go work with dogs? It should just only be diva training on this show? Thanks for helping demonstrate somewhat decent socialization. All right. Carl's gonna keep the donkeys entertained.
Jeez.
Too excited. Sit. Good. There you go. That's a much better way to get my attention. Hi. You ready for another go? You got a little afraid being away from your mom, and then you're like, no, she's back, and I'm ready for more entertainment. All right.
You want me to make that?
Oh, we got 3 now?
Well, yeah, we've always had 3 mics. We just don't get to use them that often.
Are we going to use all 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want, can I take Hudson while you get Mike?
Yeah.
Come here, buddy. Hi.
Well, that's always exciting when we have 2 excited puppies
Right?
and
Some excited donkeys.
absolutely.
Sit. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I teach him to jump on cue?
Teach him what?
To jump on cue so he does it like when I ask him?
If that'll stop him from jumping on others.
Can help. Up.
I've honestly never seen him jump with his back legs off the ground until just then.
He's just too excited for some training time. What's this? Up. You can do it. He's like, oh, I gotta get to this person's. What is this? Up. You got it. There, nice.
Take it.
He's got to think about it a little bit more when it's not an arousal behavior.
Oh, yeah.
And then it often, so like that's a high arousal jump, right? Like it's like, I'm so excited, I don't know what to do with myself. Wah! Right? But when we start putting it on cue, like the driver of that jump is different now, right? It's more frontal cortex driven, right? He's got to start thinking like, what is the behavior rather than just responding, reacting.
Okay.
And so like when we put those sort of tricky behaviors on cue, we can get some pretty novel results in faster relaxation. So he's got to start thinking about it. Okay, up. Nice. See how much more in control he is?
Uh-huh.
Let's see what he defaults to. Nice. That's a good default sit. Default settle.
Yeah, we've been working on default settles.
That's great. And that's a faster default than last time, too, even though we got a little excited that we weren't just diving right into class. Good. Still a little excited. I'd like to see that hip rock a little bit eventually. But he's doing very good. Look at that around the, just the environment to check in. They're really fast. He's still pretty aroused, but he's less aroused. Okay, cool. So, you can just treat him every time he looks at me.
Every time he looks at me?
At me.
At you.
So look at that. Yeah. You remember that first game that we were playing last week where it was look at something in the environment, get a treat?
Uh-huh.
Try playing that with him and see if his arousal diminishes a little bit. I'm going to go work with James just a little bit. And your goal is just click every time he looks at me or anything else in the environment. Give him a treat back. Nice.
Good girl.
How's recall been going?
Pretty good. We've been doing some work in the field, which has been nice, down by the river.
Oh, nice.
And so a little bit of on leash, a little bit of off leash, and she's been doing a lot better over the last couple weeks. So
Awesome.
We've been doing more and more work. So
I was thinking about where, do you want to just show me kind of where you're at? Like what a session maybe the field would look like a little bit?
yeah, basically we'd be walking along and she'd get interested in something, kind of like you.
Yeah.
And I'd say, Boona, come.
Nice.
Good girl.
Oh, that was awesome
Take it.
recall. Okay, I have an idea about where to take it next. Do you want to see?
Yep,
Do you mind if I work it real quick?
by all means.
So a nice default for recall is to have them just recalling themselves. So this builds into some of our basic obedience too. And what I want to see is, I'm going to go click for walking with me, go sniff. And then you can call these send outs or go sniffs or whatever. But I want the default to be to come back to me and then I send away. So we're going to start building into that now. So rather than calling away, let's see if we can start getting a rhythm of I send you away. She's like, who am I working with? That's fine. It's a good go out.
Let's go ahead. Go ahead.
So, losing her a little bit. Go sniff.
That's it.
And then throw a treat away. When she comes back, if we can get her for a little bit. Click. Go sniff. Throw a treat away. And then pretty quickly we want to move over to go sniff and not throw the treat. As soon as she comes back, the treat is back here. But for the first few, we're using that treat to send her off, and we're building up a, is your paw hurting you a little bit? We're building up a default behavior, walking with us, and then going out when we release.
Okay.
So that's another also great way to like have them automatically come back. Practice that a little bit, and then we'll go work on some socialization stuff.
Sounds good. Una. Good girl.
How are lats going?
Girl.
No.
Do you mind if I coach you a little bit?
Yeah.
So click now.
Go sniff.
Good. We're just kind of missing it. Click now. Good. Treat at your feet.
Good girl.
Good. Click now. It's okay if he's over here. Really sniff. Really. Good. That was great. Click now. Treat at your feet.
Una.
Good.
Girl.
And it's like pretty fast at first. Good. Good. Now you want to try and see if he wants to come say hi?
Sure.
Go sniff. So go ahead and tell him.
Go say hi.
Good girl.
Good. Go. And now you can click him and treat back at your feet.
Good girl.
Just so check. So how's it been going?
Today's a little rough. Yesterday was a little rough. He
We're
has
pretty excited.
puppy brain going on.
Yeah.
We've been working on Leash training,
Uh-huh.
and he's pretty good unless Boona's around.
Right.
Or you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and also it's probably pretty exciting to have a whole bunch of new people.
Definitely.
So, again, with like that nice pandemic puppy stuff, he probably hasn't had a lot of interaction with new people or a chance to go like puppy class, I'm guessing. Have you gotten into puppy class?
He's been in puppy class.
How often?
He goes like once a week.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's super good
So he's-
in class.
Uh-huh.
He's really good indoors, and then moving outdoors is like
That's where
the biggest ball game.
Yeah, which
There's
is
everything.
probably where he's like gotten to do kind of what he like, just what he was going to do naturally a little bit more, just a little bit exciting. So that is going to be harder, and that's why we have to have high value treats. And also, like, today isn't necessarily going to be like the easiest day for him. We might be having too high a distraction because we're outside where he's already having a problem. He doesn't get to see me very often, and when he does, it's pretty exciting. I'm just going to treat him so he's like not sit. Too excited. Go sniff. But good socialization. We practice in those places, but we just do practice. We want to make sure we're practicing the environment's reinforcing calmer and calmer behaviors. He really has that jump on track.
Okay, yeah. And then the other thing is, I think at puppy class, he'd sit or like he'd jump and then sit, and then they'd treat him.
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like he's like, oh,
Behavior
jump,
change,
sit.
jump sit.
Yeah.
Which is fine because then you can put it down. But I like to put it on cue. So up. Yeah, there you go. It's a big up. And then multiple treats on down, right? Get it? Calmer behavior. That's one way to deal with it. And it may seem counterintuitive, but if he's already jumping up on me this much, it's getting reinforced, right?
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that? We differentially reinforce other behaviors. But if you try and eliminate it, then we probably are going to slip into reinforcement ratio where it's so limited that it's actually getting more and more reinforced by withholding, right?
Gotcha.
So instead, if we have a very clear cue for when it works, up, good, sit. Then we can build the default to be sit, right?
Okay, and then the special thing is to stay up.
And like the cue is when it should pay. So you shouldn't get reinforced for an up sit unless it's cued.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Up, sit. And you also see a more controlled behavior if you're doing it right, where it's more in practice, it's less likely to actually hurt himself or somebody else. And you can also turn it into something really cool, like a do-si-do. Up, where he's doing it to the side or something like that.
Okay.
Sit. Good. And then what you want to kind of see is click treat, click treat. Seems like there's and like I'm not going to reinforce that one because I didn't
you didn't
cue
say
it.
that.
But he's got to be able to practice the not working thing for it to do. So I might cue a few other behaviors first. Settle. So you got settle on cue. Good. Sit. Good. Just to mix it up. So it's not always the same thing of up, sit.
So is it helpful when we've been walking, when he's starting to get excited, I say like Hudson, then click and give it to him, and we like slowly make our way over there. Or like if he's getting way too excited, I have him sit in front of me, and like as the person's walking towards us, and just like
Giving treats. Yeah.
Is that, or should I be practicing him
to-
going to them?
How's his arousal between the two? Like, is he more excited if he's trying to sit and hold it in? I'm like, see, now I'm going to just try and reinforce because I'm focusing on you. So anything 4 feet on the floor or on the ground is going to get a lot more reinforcement. So he's not getting me into the paying attention to him by jumping.
Gotcha. I would say he's really good until they're like 2 or 3 feet away, and then he goes spaz.
So could you send him before that? Let's try it real quick.
Okay.
Because what the leash does and like the hold back is it can build arousal and then it's like that big release.
Yeah.
So you might have to click a lot. Sit. I'm just not going to reinforce that one. Sit. He does believe in it though. Okay, so get his attention.
Hudson.
Give him a lot of treats. Give him some of these treats since they're just different and new. They're a little big. He's definitely not going to need dinner tonight. You can have a whole bunch of them. Bruna's like, I'm going to steal some of Hudson's excess. So just walk me through it.
Okay.
So I'm the person.
So basically someone's coming, and he like starts to get excited.
And just ask for a sit. Come on.
But he's been pretty good on loose leash if, again, he's not in his like normal environment. And so he'll start walking as he starts getting interested, and like not to the end of leash. Here's the truth.
He starts like doing the pull.
Except not quite. When he starts to do that, then I say Hudson, and then he looks back. I treat him. When we get to this point, then he starts to do the pull.
I think your mic is on.
He's really good
Did you do that, Hudson?
turning off the bikes. He did that to me last week.
You want people to know how bad you are.
He's like, stop talking, start training.
Yeah, so it's like those last few moments. But basically, what I've started doing, sit.
And you can click and then drop like 3 different treats on the ground just to give you a little bit more time before he starts trying to get your attention.
But I would have been having him sit, and then like click, treat, and then the person's walking by.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and if you can maintain a sit, that's excellent. And that's what we want to see. And that he's doing it more in novel environments makes sense because he's rehearsed kind of the excited greetings in like a environment where he's familiar. And as he gets more comfortable, he'll probably default back into that excited greeting if you don't get a stronger default behavior of not jumping up or just kind of chilling. So this is also good for socialization, right? Because what we want to do is, so long as we're getting the behavior we want to see, calm, comfortable dog capable of letting people pass, not having to say hi all the time, not jumping on people, not being afraid, right? We want to keep introducing that places. But it's important to notice, like if you start seeing him escalating towards this default behavior of jumping on people, back up, right? Make it easier, higher reinforcement, practice more somewhere where he can succeed. So long as you're having success, we want to expand our socialization. And he doesn't have to say hi to everybody. In fact, for him, probably practicing not saying hi is a good idea so long as it's not raising his arousal too much. He's just... So let's just practice a greeting, but you walk me through the way that you'd do it if you were kind of like the tricky part. Let me see if I can break it down for you a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we're walking. And he's pretty good at loose leash.
Good. Yeah. That's great.
Then when he starts to look at you, Hudson. Hudson. Okay, well, of course, he's going to be calm this time. But normally, like, we're, like, here, right? And then he's like, oh, there's actually someone there.
And
like,
then he's
Mom's
like...
tricking me. Yeah.
Right.
And then he goes crazy.
That was good. I'm going to just treat him because he's stayed 4 feet on the floor.
Yeah.
And when you say goes crazy, is it just the jumping up behavior or is it something else?
No, just jumping up. And
okay.
I would say, actually, I'm kind of impressed when we've gone to, like, Blue Mountain and stuff. Maybe to, like, half the dogs and people he's crazy. The other half... he goes very slowly. So we're getting there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It's just about what behavior is getting like more prominent, right? And remember that it might just be total puppy excitement, or it might be nervousness with some people too that's keeping him from going too.
crazy.
So if he gets more comfortable, you might see it blossom even bigger. So you kind of have to watch out for that. But let's practice the behavior, but let's switch it up. So I'm going to demo and you're going to be the stranger. And I'll just show you a couple things you can do to deal with those specific scenarios.
Okay.
So I like to do so we'll just walk past you. Sit.
I feel like he
go.
sees me all the time.
Yeah, that's great, right?
Oh, okay.
Because we want to set them up to succeed. So if you're finding that it's like unmanageable, probably you're just setting your criteria too high. You're making it too easy to fail, right? So throw the treat away. As we go by, I'm going to click. So we come up, and then I'm just going to focus on using my treats to pass.
Good girl.
Right? So that they're distracting him from paying attention to you. So we're walking by, and I think I would just, if this was my dog right now and he was jumping up, I'd focus on ignoring people as much as possible, unless for some reason the behavior is escalating. Sit.
Okay.
And giving them positive alternative behaviors to do.
So what would that look like?
So it's just like, it's literally just, he's walking. Again, this is where that basic obedience can be super helpful. I'm just trying to catch him before he jumps up on me, right? He's walking, and I'm focusing on loose leash walking, not greeting right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's the walk by, click treat away from the person, where it's just like ignoring the person. And if that person's stationary, awesome. If not, maybe we'll go 30 feet away to walk by, right?
Okay.
Using my click treats to get me past. There's a really great trainer, Leslie McDevitt, who talks, with dogs who are highly reactive or have very strong behavioral problems. She'll play a game called 1, 2, 3, and you just treat on 3 for every difficult scenario. 1, 2, 3, click treat. And that's a way to get past difficult things, right?
Okay.
That's another way too. But all I want you to see there is like I'm using my mark before the difficult behaviors come up, and I'm using my treat placement, putting it further away from the thing to help him get by, right?
Okay.
So maybe try that. Let's see how it goes.
And let's say like he does pull on it. Then what do I like? I don't like. Do I pull back?
You're trying to get your reinforcement. You can ask for a behavior, get his attention, anything to get him to do the behavior you want to see. It's very good, man. You like it. Didn't jump on me once for a period. So don't worry too much. I'll coach you. Let's just give it a shot.
Hudson.
Good. As soon as he looks at you, just go ahead and click.
Hudson.
He's pretty straight. There it is. You can click that.
Yeah, and I feel like he's just the last week or so has just been.
He's
he's never learned anything.
It's like he's also 6 months, so that's exactly right. He's in a developmental stage where he needs to relearn everything, and you need to start from the basics and reteach.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if it's true, but a lot of dogs are getting, a lot of the pandemic puppies, from what I have been hearing, are getting out more these days.
Oh, yeah.
So like it's like he's getting a lot of opportunities to really learn things. But he's also in a developmental phase where a lot of people have had sticker dogs who just never leave their hip, right? But he's big enough now that if he was living, like dogs have traditionally lived in small groups and among people, he would be adventuring out more. And he's kind of in the stage where really you want to focus on reteaching the behaviors you want to see and really drilling down on the ones that you want to change and finding ways to have those succeed. Because he basically his brain is in this place where he's checking everything and making sure what's true. And so he's more likely to go venture out, to not come when called, all sorts of things like that. So I always tell clients, this is a time where there's no off-leash time, because this is a time where dogs disappear. This is a time where dogs don't come back when they find something interesting. Your focus is just, you might have to back way up. Treat him like he's a brand new puppy, you haven't trained anything. A lot of people have to reteach things like sit this time, from the very beginning. We just practice. And it's just like with children, they have developmental phases, and there's just certain windows where things just change all of a sudden. And you notice it if you see it a lot, but it feels like, oh my God, my dog is a whole different dog now. But the behaviors that you reteach and work on now will definitely ground in even stronger. So try not to get too frustrated. It's really hard for people. Awesome. That's great. Let's practice our walking real quick, and then we'll call it a day. I'm a little rusty too. So click, throw a treat away from me. That was awesome. This is what we want to see. He's had some time around me, so he's way more likely to succeed. If you can't kind of get this level of control out of Blue Mountain, it's probably just because there's too much novel stuff going on. He's probably not ready for it, actually. So you need to practice more stuff like this, a puppy class with people that you trust, lots more practice on what to do where you're having lots of success. High ratio of success is 80 to 90% success rate, and ideally more. So if you're 50-50, you're probably actually reinforcing the behaviors you don't want to see more than you think.
Okay, so then where do we go from, if he looks really solid at puppy class or at home, then do I move to see if like Ashley can do it with him first?
Exactly. Or James or, anybody you trust to like kind of listen to what you're doing and practicing with friends and stuff, the behaviors you actually want to see. Because you'll get a lot more success. Well, you'll have a harder time if it's random strangers. He's just kind of doing whatever and you're trying to recover him. And you'll know that it's going well when you can start working with random strangers. But also higher levels of puppy classes will introduce more of this stuff. Okay. Let's get a few more reinforcements because we've talked a lot, but I haven't gotten a coach. I want you to really understand.
Big treats?
I'm out of them, but let's see.
I can go run and grab some more.
We probably got some good cheese and stuff. Here. I'm going to be all out of treats, and you're going to take those. You can just, what's nice about these is there's nothing there. It's all mom. You can restock them over here too. I know. I haven't sat near you. It's pretty exciting. Nice. I know. Can you believe you're going to get some cheese after all this? You're so jacked. Pretty exciting stuff.
Okay. Come in.
And then whenever you feel like you're ready, just let me know.
Girl.
He's ready. Sorry, I just sent the beast towards you.
He's
so he's very food motivated. He's probably also pretty burnt. Okay. So I'm just going to, you walk that way, I'll walk towards you. And your focus is just click treat, throw the treat away from me. Okay, that's all you're thinking about. And like, I wouldn't even worry too much about the loose leash. It's more just about the passing. Just walk straight towards me or kind of like, you can veer out if you feel like you need it.
Okay. Buna.
Good. Awesome. Good. And you almost lost him, but then you caught him again. Let's see if we can do 2 or 3 of those.
Buna.
I know.
Buna.
This way.
Nice.
Girl.
You can also just throw him like to the other side of your body. So he's kind of like, you're also kind of a block on the person.
Okay.
And you can also have something that he really likes, like cheese. And there it's just like, there you go. You could call him at that point if you think you can get him. Whatever you need to do. Ideally, it's more reinforcement based. If you're always having to call him, then you need to kind of make your training a little bit easier.
Okay.
Let's do 2 or 3 more. You're doing great. Good. Good. Yeah. If it helps, you can practice the 1, 2, 3, click, toss a treat. That's also a good way to do it.
Oops, sorry, bud. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And then you don't need to use that if there's no distraction, right? But if there's a distraction, 1, 2, 3, toss a treat away from the distraction. He's pretty food motivated, so I think that'll work pretty good for you.
Yeah.
And then separately, just only practice say hi with people you trust to actually practice the game. You know? Does that handle it, or are you still feeling a little lost there?
I guess it's just like different levels. I don't know. Today I feel like he's been extra crazy. But I feel like sometimes, walking around the neighborhood, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
About not being too crazy.
Well, and remember, today is like a really high and difficult part. That's why we have high value reinforcers. So I wouldn't necessarily, like, I don't think that like what I'm seeing today is like your best behaved dog, how he always is.
Oh, no, he's been like this for a couple days. But so if he's calm around the neighborhood, is it okay to keep practicing loose leash walking?
Yeah, totally. Yes. This is specifically for dealing with distractions, right? Okay. So if he's too excited, if like say like 12 kids come running down the street, I don't know what his like absolute high level arousal is with like 3 dogs, and you're like, okay, I have to loose leash walk past this. Give yourself more space. count 1, 2, 3, click, throw a treat on the grass, or just click, throw a treat on the grass, click, throw a treat on the grass. You can always go 1, click, throw a treat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But wherever you can succeed, where he'll just keep coming back to you, and the reinforcement is away. And then once you're kind of like on top of it, you should see that his ability to deal with that exciting stuff gets easier and easier and easier. Also, as he gets a little bit older. But the more you practice it, the better right now, because the more likely he'll be successful later on. And he won't be doing this at 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
If you do nothing, or if he keeps getting to rehearse it in like lots of different scenarios, the likelihood that he'll continue this behavior forever is much higher, right? So you're right now with a young puppy, especially for pandemic puppies, we're trying to think about what do I want my dog's behavior to look like in a year, right? Or in 6 months, and try and find places where you're succeeding in getting closer to that behavior and keep doing those things, rather than places where you're kind of having 50-50 success or 60-40 success. You want to be having 80, 90, 100% success, and keep practicing that and slowly doing harder.
Okay.
A lot of people go like too fast, too furious. Like it's like you wouldn't expect like a toddler to do physics, you know?
Yeah.
You got to, and especially like at this age, he's like, you're going back to counting 1, 2, 3, right? And then you can keep building up from there. Okay, cool. I think we've probably gone on way too long.
We wore Boone out, I think.
I think we wore me out too. I would definitely feel like the only person who's not worn out here is Grody, ready for more.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's call it a day. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and thanks to both of you for letting me play with your dogs.
Yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing.
Off your minds a little
Mackenzie.
bit. Thanks to the puppies for being great puppies, and we'll see you next week, same time.
Right.
Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, maybe a little play session is called for.
Hudson, come here.
Let's take a break. What is this? There we go. Okay, go play.
What?
Staggered and then having them